Oh, hey friends, it's Deanna here. What a surprise to have you here with me today. Not really. I knew you were there, though there's a camera right in front of me. But today I am here to talk to you about PDF patterns. Okay, so you've seen the videos, you've seen me sew up things, and you're wondering, how do I even get to that point? Let me show you. Today, we're gonna work on a free pattern and we're gonna do everything together. I'm gonna show you on my laptop just exactly how I print these patterns, how I download them and print them, and then we're gonna do a free pattern so that we can do it together. Okay? Let's get to it. You ready? All right. First of all, we're going to go to ellieandmac.com. This is where we get our patterns. And there are so many options here on the site. So first of all, we're going to go to search. And we can search whatever pattern we want. If you want to search a pattern that you already know about, one pattern you saw a video of and you're like, oh, I really like that pattern. Or we can go to Shop All, which will show you all the different patterns that we have. For right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit sewing patterns. If I swivel over that sewing patterns, we're going to go ahead and have a drop down menu that shows you all kinds of different options. We're going to go to the wacky and free. Wacky and free patterns are on the left hand side, if you can see right there. I'm wiggling my mouse over it. And we're going to click on that. Now, every week we get new patterns. We get bestsellers for $2. And then we also get dollar patterns. So you can grab those different patterns every week. But we also have our free patterns at the bottom. Now you see that picture right there? Oh, I'm wearing the same dress. You know what? It was so funny this morning. I thought about making this video. I put on this dress. I did not even think about the fact that it's got the same picture. Isn't that cool? All right, so let's click on that quick view. As you can see, it's $0 and is a pattern that has from kids to adult sizes. This is a sock pattern. So we're going to go ahead and add to cart. Now, if you have not created an account, I'm gonna go check out. If you have not created an account, that's something that you have to do right now. I already created my account, so it pulls it up right up there on the screen, okay? So once I've created my account, I'm going to go to continue to payment. So we'll go to continue to payment. We'll put our payment. There is no payment because it's $0. It says order is completed. It's free, no payment required. All right, so let's complete the order and let's download this pattern. All right, so now that we are completed, we're gonna click here to download your digital file. So let's click that button. And you have different formats on this file. Now this file only has two formats. It's got the compressed and it's got the projector file. Projector file means if you have a projector mounted at your house, you can literally project it down to your cutting table and cut your pattern out. You don't need a printer, you don't need any of that. You can just write onto your mat. I don't have one of those. Well, I do, but it's not installed yet. So I'm going to go to the compressed file and click on it. Once I'm there, I get my file. I opened it on Adobe Acrobat Reader, which gives me an option to have layers. What is layers? All right, let me tell you. Layers, if you look on the left-hand side of your screen and there's like a little button that's got like sheets right on top of each other, and you click that on, and then you have the little arrow where it drops down. Layers allows you to print different sizes on their own. So let me scroll down to show you what the pattern looks like, and then we'll talk about a little bit more about the layers. The really great thing about Ellie and Mac patterns is, as you see, it's got obviously the picture of the makes. It's got the table of contents, which shows you where you need to go for different options, different things that you need, your requirements on fabric, sewing terms. So if you have questions, you can refer back to. We've got the Trimless Pages guide. This is how it shows you how to tape pages together or glue them together, but I'm gonna show you that too. And it shows you just exactly how to print your pattern. This is the assembly diagram. Every pattern comes with this, which is great because you can see, oh, do I want to print that version? So many of our patterns have a different options. So you can see on there, on this diagram, do I want the skirt option? Do I want the pant option? If I only want the skirt option, I only need to print these pages. So that's where the diagram comes in handy. There are some tips and tricks, and here we get to the pattern. Okay, so here's the required pieces. It shows you just exactly what you need to cut out. And then here start the awesome instructions, step-by-step instructions with pictures, great quality pictures that show you just exactly how to sew up this pattern. All right, after we do that, we did it. Comes, well, more pictures of socks. This is our designer, Lindsay. Isn't she gorgeous? And then we get all the way down to the actual pattern. As you can see right now, there are so many different layers, colors, lines. Those are the sizes. Here's a size key I'm gonna show you right here. So every color line, it's for a different size. Well, look at how cool this is. If you go over here on the left side, once again, where it talks about layers, as we start removing these layers, all those other sizes go away. I'm gonna print a 10, size 10, that's my size. And I'm gonna take away all the other sizes, the kid sizes, the young adult, the ones with little feet. And I took my size as well. Let's click that back on. And as you can see now, there's only my size. So when I go to print, that's what I need to print. So I know I'm gonna print 16, 17, 18, and 19. I'm gonna go right here to the print button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose pages, and I'm gonna start at, what page did I say it was? 16? I think. I'm gonna try again. Cancel. I have the remembrance of a squirrel. I forget everything. I was right. Yes, print. I'm gonna pick 16 because I don't wanna print all the instructions. You can print all the instructions if you like. That is up to you. Now we need to make sure that it's actual scale, and some other ones have different setups. Let's see, our setup right here is US letter, because there, if you pull down, there's different A4, all kinds of different. We're gonna leave it at US letter. And we're gonna click OK. And we're gonna go ahead and click print, which is gonna send it to my printer. And then I'm gonna show you how to put it together. So easy. Oh, my pages have printed. And it's time to put them together. Now, the really cool thing about most Alien Mac patterns is trimless pages. What does trimless pages mean? Well, sometimes when you buy patterns, you have to actually cut the sides of the paper before they fit together. Now, some of our older patterns still that way, but we're working on that. But our newer patterns have trimless pages. That means you don't have to cut anything. Oh good, it landed on fabric. Not a child or a dog. Anyway, I love to use glue. This purple glue stick is really, really cool. I think it makes the job a lot easier, but some people like to use tape. I was looking for my tape. My kid took it a couple of days ago. I have no idea where it went. I think he used it all up. We're just gonna do with glue today. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're gonna grab our pattern pieces and we're gonna start matching them all up. All right, as you can see, these are two separate pieces, so you don't really have to tape these two together. So I just move on to the next number. Ta-da, number 18. So number 18, if you were to look at your diagram on your paper, it will show you just how you can put these together. So, but here it is, number 16 and 18, they go together. I'm just gonna add some glue to the bottom, and I'm gonna grab my paper and I'm going to line them up. Line up the papers. There it is. And then we move on to the next one. Whoop. Here we are. Number 19. Line up the papers. And there it is. Now my ink was a little bit low on my printer, so everything is kind of faded. That's all right. I can still see what I'm doing. Tape them all together. If you all are saying, oh my goodness, look at that mess of glue everywhere, don't worry, because it's gonna dry clear. You won't even be able to see it. Just make sure you line up your lines so that your pattern look is correct. I forgot to mention too, at the beginning of the pattern, when you're printing, your first page will have this little scaly thing. So make sure you measure with a ruler so that you know that you're scale printed correctly. See, that's a 1-inch square. Everything looks good. So let's move on to the next thing, which is cutting it out. Yes, we need scissors for this part. I'm using the big scissors. I don't want to use those baby scissors. So let's go ahead and cut all the way around all our pieces. I'm sure you're better at cutting than I am. We're just going for it. This part you can have your significant other help with. You can have your child help with. You can have anyone help with this part, as long as they do a good job at cutting. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, you take too long, I'm just gonna do it myself. But this is up to you. I have had too much caffeine today. My hands are shaking, which is making it hard to cut. Okay, they're not shaking that bad, but they are. All right, now that we're getting done with our cutting, you can use the rest of the papers for scrap paper. You can give them to your child who likes to color and everything, and they will color, or you can just toss it to the side. Next is picking our fabric. Now, on that pattern, it tells you what kind of fabrics are best for your pattern, whatever pattern you're making. Since we're making the socks, we obviously have to find out what the best fabric is for the socks. And we want to do something that has a good stretch. So I'm gonna go look at my scraps and see what I have to make some socks out of. Alrighty, time for cutting. And I love to use a rotary cutter. Obviously it's up to you, whatever you want to use. Scissors is fine. So I'm going to find my fabric. It's got the grain line. We need to make sure it's going the right way. And you have little marks on your pattern, which you can see a lot better when you have ink. And then the really cool thing too is that it tells you how many to cut. So this is the front, and you're gonna cut 2 of those. And then it also tells you how to cut them. Sometimes you have different terminologies on how to cut. If you have questions about that, we have a video here on our YouTube channel that shows you, talks about different terms of sewing. So I'm just going to place my sock right on top and start cutting around my pattern. I need a sharp blade on my rotary cutter, but it's okay. All right, so got 2 of those, put them aside. When you're using a rotary cutter, be very careful because they can be very sharp and they can cut your fingers. So be really, really careful. I know this one doesn't look as sharp. You're like, yeah, all right. They're sharp, all right. They are. This one's just really dull because it's been a while since I changed my blade. And yeah. Alrighty, we are done cutting. All right, my friends, this is a part where you can pull back up your laptop. And so here we are. Our pieces that we're supposed to have, check. I've got them all and they are ready to rock and roll. All right, so we start, okay, this is the directions and they start telling you just exactly what you have to do. How awesome is that? So we're gonna grab our sock bottoms and we're gonna put them right side up. I mean, yes, and then we're gonna grab our sock top and we're gonna match up the rounded edges. We're gonna keep this little screen up here next to us because I wanna make sure that you see how awesome this pattern instructions are. So I want you to go check them out. And honestly, if you ever have issues with any of our patterns and you're like, I don't know how to do that, check out our videos. We have videos for most of our patterns where I sew them up and we go through it really, really slowly. So we're gonna go ahead and sew them up together right here around the round. Y'all, this is why it's so important for you to look at the instructions first. Here I was going to the next step and then I'm like, wait a minute. It's got little marks where to sew, and in your instructions it shows you just exactly where you need to sew. So make sure that you look at those instructions. All right, once that's sewn, we're gonna scroll down and see our next instruction. Open up the back piece as shown, and we're going to grab this big little piece right here, and we're gonna match them right sides together. Right sides together. all the way around. Do you see that? Right sides together. And once we do that, we're going to go around and sew. Make sure you read. This is what it looks like on the other side. Let's go sew it. All right, so the sock is coming along, and honestly, you could right now if you wanted to. Look at that. You could just flip this under or leave it raw. It is up to you, but the pattern shows me how to do a band, so we're gonna do a band. Look how cool. I've almost got a sock. That was so easy. All right, so bands. We've got 2 of them, so we're gonna fold them right sides together. Right here it shows you, tells you exactly what you're doing, and you're going to sew that raw edge. Now, I'm just gonna head over there and sew it real quick because usually I read my whole pattern and I pretty much prep everything. So I would have prepped this at the same time that I prepped that. That way I would be ready to sew everything on. So let me sew. I'm back. All right. So now we're going to fold that band, wrong sides together. Ooh, let me show you right there on my instructions. And do what the instructions say. Follow the instructions. I'm just gonna half it. I think the instructions, what do they say? Half? Oh yeah, they do say half. I do a little notchy notch to mark my halves. And I'm gonna do that for both. Now I'm going to grab my sock. It's already turned right side out. Let's turn this one right side out. Hello there, friend. You could use it as sock pockets too. Wow, double use. And I'm going to grab my cuff and fit it in and match my 2 seams right there and right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and stretch and sew it on. Let's make sure. Chugga chugga choo, chugga chugga choo. Repeat for other socks. We did it! We're almost there. All right, I'm gonna head over there and sew them on, and then we'll put them on. How easy peasy is this whole thing? Huh? Let me know below what you think. Let's go sew it up. All right, friends, we are done with our socks. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm gonna put my socks on. How cool is this? I made my own socks, and that was super quick and super easy and super fun. Let me know below, have you tried PDF patterns yet? Do you like them? Have you tried any Ellie and Mac patterns? Did you sew the socks up with me? Are you going to? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't so you never miss any of our tutorials. Come find us on Facebook where we have an awesome community who is sharing, there's a hair in my face, who is sharing all their makes. And they are answering questions. So if you have any questions or anything like that, come over there. And we want to see your makes because we want to be inspired by you. I hope, oh yes, find us on Instagram as well. We do have an Instagram, and we also have a TikTok where we got some fun clips going on. So I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Go print out some patterns, sew some socks, comment below, share, subscribe. Saying that again, yes, I said it again. And I'll see you all next time.